how to push press in 2 minutes or less. If you watched our video on the overhead press, you know the basics, but we're gonna go through them again. Overhead pressing or push pressing is a really good compound exercise to overload your shoulders and your tricep. We're gonna be pushing something up over our head, as the name implies, but rather than the strict overhead press where we've got our hips and our legs locked in, we're gonna slightly dip our hips back in this hinge motion, then use that extension to help get the bar overhead. The advantage of this is we can push more weight up over our head, and we wanna control that eccentric or lowering portion to really overload our shoulders. This can be done as a primary lift if you're into Olympic lifting, things of that nature, or as an accessory and a great way to overload your shoulders if your interests are more in terms of bodybuilding, hypertrophy, or strength gains. Just like the overhead press, we're gonna approach the bar with our hands at about shoulder width. We're gonna pull our shoulder blades down and back towards our spine. And we're gonna get our elbows all the way under the bar. We're gonna slightly tuck our chin and extend through our thoracic spine, keeping our lumbar spine and our hips locked in. And then we're gonna dip our hips back and push the barbell over our head. What this looks like is here, so shoulder blades down and back, elbows in front of the bar. I'm here just like I was gonna start an overhead press, but now I'm gonna slightly dip my hips back, and I use hip extension to push the bar overhead, get in a fixed position, and then control it back down. So hips back, control it back down. You're stronger in the eccentric or lowering portion, so that can be your metric. If you can get it overhead, that's great, but I want you to have some control going back down. If you're dropping the bar on yourself really hard or fidgeting, you're probably going a little too heavy. Generally, something like this, which is an explosive exercise, will be done for lower repetitions, but that's something we can talk about. In terms of training, nutrition, and coaching, we have all of your resources in the link below at kaizentrainingandnutrition.com.